And we're back on the show.
Yes, we are.
We're very happy to have Royce Hamer joining us in the studio. And Royce, I know we've had you on before, but always great to talk about Ozone.
Today is Ozone Day.
And I love your shirt. Actually, just spread it out because we can just see Zone Man, Ozone Man. There we go.
I can't see what you see.
That's okay.
We can see
and then on the back.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Royce.
here we go.
That's not going to work.
No.
It says Ozone Miracle. Ozone Miracle. And
You just never know.
so this is great. We can build on to the conversation we had yesterday. And maybe let's just start just telling us why ozone is such a miracle.
Well, ozone is a form of oxygen. So let's go back to 1932 when Dr. Otto Warburg in Germany made a thesis, and he proved that all cancers were caused by lack of oxygen. And this was big news. And that statement has never been refuted. They criticized him because he was Jewish and he was protected by Hitler, his whole family. Why? Hitler's mother died of cancer, and this was a leading cancer expert in the world. So Hitler protected them. He's criticized for being protected, but not for his findings. So going back to myself, I've been a health coach for some 45 years. And it evolved from vitamins and minerals into oxygen as I learned more and more. I have no formal training, therefore I have no guidelines to follow. I can do what works. So we started out with basically telling people how to breathe right, because most people don't. They don't get enough oxygen that way. Then we went into my big step up was when I became involved with what we call MMS, which is chlorine dioxide. Now that's a gas with one extra oxygen atom and a voltage on the atomic scale of 0.95, very low. Yeah. That's why it doesn't damage healthy cells. It only goes after pathogens.
But it's been demonized.
Oh, heck.
In the media,
anything
right?
That's not big money is demonized. Now, we got a criminal organization in Canada called Health Canada. They're the only government agency that had a book written about them called Corrupt to the Core.
That's right.
That's right, yeah. Shiv Chopra.
Yeah.
Shiv Chopra.
Yeah.
So that was, I started working with chlorine dioxide until I got into warnings from Health Canada. Then I met people who were into hydrogen peroxide. Now, that's a liquid with 2 extra oxygen atoms and a voltage of 1.75. And that led me into ozone, which is another gas with 3 extra oxygen atoms and a voltage of 2.07. Now, it's very harsh. That's why we warn you when you're using it, do not use it in an occupied room. And that means people, pets, or plants. It can damage them. A contractor also told me at a show I was doing, and fine art. He says fine art will discolor because of it. That's why you're not allowed to take flash camera pictures in museums. The flash will deteriorate eventually the pigment.
Well, we're getting a lesson here today.
Yeah, well, this is what it's all about. Oxygen is vital for health, but it has its negative points too. I mean, they claim they one of the arguments on this chlorine dioxide, it's a bleach. Oh, so is hydrogen peroxide, so is oxygen. You hang your clothes out, the sunlight and the oxygen will fade the colors. In clear glass, it will actually put color into it, but it takes a long process.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, Royce.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, because you mentioned about the oxygen. The deprivation of oxygen leads to cancer and all kinds of, obviously, we need oxygen to live, right? It's absolutely essential. Just interesting that we've got all this stuff with the masks now where it's
my God.
I don't think it has been proven that it can stop the virus, but it has been proven that it reduces oxygen consumption. I just
that's a fact. Wearing the mask, most masks, the testing I've seen, we have around 21% oxygen in the atmosphere. This can reduce it to 19.5. And any reduction in oxygen is unhealthy. Yeah. our planet used to have about 28 to 30% oxygen back in the prehistoric days.
The pre-flood days, I believe.
Pre-flood, whatever, yeah. So it's made all the time. I don't want to get into anything else. So oxygen is vital. Anybody who argues with me about oxygen, I say, well, hold your breath for 5 minutes and get back to me. And that's the end of the argument. I mean, you can't live without it. Brain damage is usually 3 to 4 minutes. You can go 10 days without water, depending on the condition. You can go 30, 40 longer without food.
Yeah.
Oxygen is number one. The brain needs it to function. So when we're working with people with pathogens, and cancer is a pathogen, oxygen is how we work with them. So I got into ozone through some associates, and now we had failures in the machines. So I got a couple of engineers together, and the machines are built in China, but certain components are built in other countries for the quality. Proof, we have a 5-year warranty.
You designed these, right?
No, we didn't design them. We just stipulated the key components, the ones that were failing.
All right.
That would be the high temperature, high voltage transformer.
Yeah.
When you step outside after a rainstorm and it smells so beautiful, you're experiencing ozone and hydrogen peroxide. Both are created with electricity passing through the atmosphere. Right. So, and if you notice, your grass always turns greener after a rainstorm, much better than if you water it with a hose. That's the hydrogen peroxide, and to some degree, ozone. Now, that's why I say that. Ozone only lasts 25 minutes after it's produced. And then it goes back to oxygen.
Which is great.
Yes.
It means that if you've got one of these generators,
well, this goes in. Yeah.
You can increase the amount of oxygen in your atmosphere.
Well, yes. And here's the puzzling thing, and I'm working on it. I have people who are running their ozone an hour before bedtime, or actually an hour and a half, for 1 hour. Yeah. Now, the other 30 minutes is the ozone goes back to oxygen. That's just the way it works. It's highly charged. It's looking to go back to normal, and it does. 30 minutes at the most.
So what you're saying is that if people put this on before they go to bed, you make a little regimen for people?
Yeah, I have a sheet on it.
Okay. So
the 3 people that have given me feedback now just love the results. So that's now why. Okay, when you use your ozone generator in a closed room, my question was, why do you get extra oxygen? And the only thing I could think of is that the machine is disassociating some of the moisture in the air. There's humidity all the time. So my hypothesis with no proof is that some of that moisture is disassociating, because when water is H2O, it's 2 oxygen atoms, 1 hydrogen. So if it disassociates, now you're getting 2 extra oxygen atoms. Now, I called my engineer in China to ask him if he'd ever thought of that or studied or came across it. And he said, well, frankly, no. But he said, I don't think the machine's that powerful. But he says, what you're experiencing, he says, I'm going to look into it, because, that's just another reason to generate some extra oxygen. Every time you get your oxygen level up, things work better. That's why people high altitude, you get altitude sickness just climbing a mountain. But if you spend 8 or 10 days there, you're going to somewhat adjust.
Adjust to it, right?
The Sherpas, some of them can go right to the top of Everest without assisted oxygen, but nobody else can.
So Royce, okay, you have a setup here. So can you show us the actual machine?
Right.
And how
Okay.
the whole thing's set up.
This.
Hold on, do just so we could
Look
see
at it. Here it is.
Can you see
Look
it?
at that, DBoss.
Yes.
Okay.
Like that.
This is our smallest machine. It produces 600 milliliters per hour, ml per hour. We use it to bubble liquid. This is water. You can do fruit juices. You can do olive oil for your salad dressing. You run the bubbler for 20 minutes and drink that glass. Within 20 minutes, you're going to get a load of ozone, which becomes oxygen.
Oh.
So you do this, I'm telling you, we must be learning chemistry today.
You can do this as much as you want.
I wasn't too good at that chemistry, but we're getting it. So you're saying that you could put this gadget inside your actual water to get.
Well, that's what
It's
it's
not going
doing.
to be bubbly, right? Well, it's
All
not
it is
gonna, you're gonna take it
a
out.
silicone hose because ozone destroys rubber
Okay.
and plastics or something. That's why
Oh.
your car tires have a 7-year warning on them.
Okay.
There's a code. So this ozones your water. Now that also kills all pathogens. We never touched on that yet.
Oh, okay.
Ozone kills all pathogens, including mold, yeast, mildew, which is a mold. If you got a room, you got somebody sick in the room. A relative of mine, he came home with COVID from airplane flights, and with his wife, I called his wife to ask if there was something for the kids, and she's always sick in bed. And she said, "I'll take the phone into him." Well, I said, "Did you try your MMS?" Oh, I forgot about it. I said, "You're laying in bed, coughing your guts out, and you forgot about MMS? Come on."
And you gotta
So I said, "Now, do you shower twice a day?" He says, "Why?" I said, "Because you're washing off the viruses that are on your skin so you don't reinfect yourself." I said, "Get in the shower, but before you do, he's got one of the big ozone machines. I said, run it in your bedroom for the 10 minutes you're in the shower. It's not going to hurt you." That night he quit coughing, and he was still weak, but he was up and around. So again, oxygen heals.
So in other words, Royce, you bubble that for how many minutes?
20 minutes.
In the glass? 20 minutes. Then you drink
Drink it within the
And
20
it has
minutes.
to be in a glass.
Well, you don't want metal.
What else would you use?
Glass.
DBoss?
Well, listen, I don't know. Hey,
Glass
I'm not
or
gonna-
plastic.
I would know. I put
Now,
some
listen.
kind of a cup or something.
If you wanted to do a whole bunch for the family, you would
Right.
get a pitcher, and
A
you'd
glass
probably
pitcher.
bubble it for an hour and a half.
So, and then when you drink it, Royce, so it's then you getting all this oxygen going into your
First thing,
bloodstream.
you're drinking water
Drink one.
with infused with ozone.
Yeah.
And ozone only lasts 25 minutes. Then it reverts back to oxygen.
Yeah.
And if you've got oxygen in your body, it's going to absorb it. You can do the same thing with hydrogen
So
peroxide.
you had that running for how long?
20 minutes.
So we can have a sip of that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna.
I wonder if it tastes like the
No,
water
no,
that's chill.
You can hardly tell the taste. And here's the nice thing. This glass, we can pass this glass around, and no one has to fear infection because nothing lives in ozone.
Right. So,
That's
So
fast.
you gotta drink it right away, right after.
20
finish?
minutes. 20
but,
minutes.
but in other words, there's another use for it. If you've got a questionable water supply,
Well,
you can purify your water.
these
with it.
machines are sold to purify the water you're soaking your veggies in to clean them up after you buy them. So you got insecticides and all that. Those chemicals are very susceptible to oxygen. Matter of fact, chlorine dioxide, which has only one oxygen atom, will get rid of glyphosate. That's the terrible stuff in Roundup that ruins your DNA and everything.
Yeah.
So I soak my vegetables in chlorine dioxide. 4 or 5 drops activated, 20 minutes.
You soak the fruits and vegetables.
Always. Everything I buy.
You put it in a bowl and you push
In
this
a,
thing in there.
yep, a plastic tub or it's always plastic,
Oh.
never steel or metal.
Never. Okay,
Plastic
here
or-
people never steal
plastic or
metal.
glass.
Plastic or
Yeah.
glass.
Oh, oxygen likes to attract metal. Look at the rust. Rust is oxygen
Okay.
on your car.
Okay.
All right, and it's activated more with salt because again, there's oxygen in salt.
Right.
Sodium or chloride has extra oxygen atoms. Anyway, the reaction causes rust. That's also in your body. It will attach itself to heavy metal like cadmium, mercury, lead, arsenic, all these things, and it doesn't. When it attacks to it, it changes the polarity, and then it falls away from the cell and gets flushed out by your liver. If you do it too fast, you will have nausea and maybe diarrhea, because the liver, when it's overwhelmed, it just says dump everything, and that's the truth. But you also get rid of toxins by perspiring and you're breathing out.
Okay.
But your liver handles it all. Poor old liver.
So people would have to. Are these 2 separate gadgets? Like this, the one that you showed.
Well,
That's one gadget, and then the other one that's
all right.
beside you with the bag.
This one here, I have several people that are gassing. I have one lady with cancer in her bones.
Okay.
She puts her leg in a plastic bag. Go and get mine in here. Come on.
You got some sexy socks on there.
Now,
Don't use this if you've got cancer anywhere on your face.
well, again, here's a plastic bag, and this lady has sores on her lower legs caused by the cancer.
Right.
And they're healing rapidly now.
Okay.
You take this hose.
Yeah.
You can leave the diffuser ball on, doesn't matter.
Just put enough
Drop it down.
Yeah.
Tie it up. 30 minutes max. Now that part of my leg is getting a good shot of ozone just from this little machine. So you can do that. You can arm whatever you can. I'm going to show you how to do the whole body with this machine because I've got a big contractor's garbage bag hooked up to it. So you can localize. You can take this hose. Let's say you have an ear infection. Just take the ball off and put it in your ear and let it blow for 10 minutes or so. Oxygen kills pathogens. That's why they're called pathogens. They're anaerobic. They don't tolerate oxygen. What's in the air is not enough to bother them, but any of these treatments I mentioned is deadly to them, okay? So I won't go through the whole thing, but that's how simple it is. Just this bag came from a loaf of French bread. You can use any bag you want. Now,
I got a few of those.
yeah. And we just throw them in the garbage.
So after you finish that treatment, you just shoot it in the garbage.
No,
You throw the bag out, right?
no, why would you?
Okay, just keep. Okay.
Nothing can contaminate it.
Oh,
Give you
okay.
another example
See?
quickly.
Yeah.
We all. When the hell did I put those?
Here we go.
Here we go.
While
He's trying
looking
to.
for,
My
He's looking
ozone,
for
my
some of these.
breathing mask.
Oh,
Anyway.
we're getting a big chemistry and
What's
medical training.
Oh, here we are.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so you got your favorite mask. You got your favorite mask. Everybody loves these damn things. And how do you clean them? These are paper ones.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you how you clean it. Take your ozone, put it in the bag,
Yeah, just hold that up, Royce. Just
zip it up,
oh yeah.
and those masks are cleaner than when they were made.
Wow.
Wow.
And you can use them until they fall apart.
So and we can tell that because we got our ozone thing running here. The office always smells fresh and clean. And we're going to tell people in a couple minutes where they can get these.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're, I know you.
Now both units are 5-year warranty. That's a big thing. I called a man who was advertising a machine for $135. He was in Whitby. He wanted to meet me in a municipal parking lot to buy his $135 machine. I said, "What's the warranty?" "Oh, about a year." About it. So anyways, of course, I wasn't following up on that because why would I meet someone in a parking lot to buy an ozone machine? I'm not buying drugs. And second, he doesn't know what the warranty is. Well, I had those cheaper machines at one time, and we had numerous failures. That's why I hired an engineer, and we specified the product. Yeah, they're made in China, but I don't knock China all the time. On certain items, they stick to the rules. I buy chemicals from them. I always get a certificate of quality. I don't get it from anybody else,
Right.
but they do.
So yeah, you made the specs, and these machines are designed
That's right.
to your specifications.
Yep.
And Royce, let's just run down all the benefits again. There's the health benefits, of course.
All right. They one of the first things that is toxic as blazes to people is the mold. If you're in an older building or a basement, especially, and it's old time, moisture comes in, mold grows, and those spores are deadly. And believe it or not, medical people, the industry has almost nothing for human mold problems.
Right.
That's a very toxic, deadly, life-threatening, and definitely non-enhancing of your life. This will get rid of the mold. It won't solve the problem of the mold growing on the moisture. That anything in the basement will turn white. It'll kill it. but eventually it'll keep. So you're going to gas it once a week.
Well, this is like I'm just thinking in terms of, I mean, it's a problem here in Canada for sure, right? Yeah. But it's also a problem in particular can be in the tropical areas.
The more moisture, the more heat, the quicker it grows.
So this could be a great way for people to kind of deal with their mold issues, right?
Well,
regardless of where they live.
Also one reason I think you look at pictures of accommodation in the tropics, they're always up on stilts. That helps control the mold problem.
Right.
It's healthier.
Okay.
All right.
And it's good for hurricanes too.
Well, yeah, actually the air can blow under and around and doesn't blow the building away as easy. So mold. Now you got pathogens, other pathogens instead of fungi. They're all anaerobic, so they don't tolerate oxygen. And why do hospitals sterilize with ozone? Almost the best thing you can find. The only thing better than ozone is chlorine dioxide. But you have to make chlorine dioxide on site. Ozone, you just plug in a machine and it makes it. So any pathogens, if you got somebody in your house that's sick with something quite obnoxious, I'm not going to say deadly, but they all can be, run some ozone now and then. Just when they're out of the bedroom taking a shower, like I did with my in-law, perfect. In a matter of 6 or 8 hours, he was up and around, and I have no doubt, we didn't test him, that he had COVID, because 3 airplane ticket rides, and then he comes home with all the symptoms, the classic symptoms. So who cares if I'm wrong? He still got well.
So Royce, how much are these devices?
All right.
People want to buy them, or where they can buy them.
The small one here is $135.
Wait, hold that up again. $125.
$135 for this one.
Okay. $135.
However, I'm at the end of the show. I'm going to show you how you can get 20% off. The big one.
We're almost got about a minute, so let's.
Okay, the big one is full industrial. This is 5,000 ml per hour. This is not a toy. This is very powerful unit. And quickly, we got a garbage bag taped to it. You can get inside this and you can ozone your body for 30 minutes. Now,
that's kind of like what Elena said you could do with garbage.
Yeah, now, okay, you go to a health spa. Now, this should come up to my waist. I couldn't do the whole thing today. So that thing's running. You tie it on, hold it like that. You can sit down 30 minutes. If you've got any infections on your skin, all sorts of conditions that oxygen heals, this is the way of doing it. Incidentally, we also do it. We call this bagging. We do it with chlorine dioxide. With ozone, you dampen your skin, you hop in the bag, and you do it for 30 minutes. With chlorine dioxide, you don't have to dampen your skin, but you do it for 3 minutes.
Okay, so great. Now, so people, there's lots of benefits here, and we're going to tell people how they can get in touch with you, Royce. They might have some questions, or you
just put my phone number up or my address. Now, I mentioned how you can get 20% off. So this is a big deal, and this is a personal question of mine. I started the Canadian Anti-Corruption League to form a political party to go after corruption. I've been involved in anti-corruption. When I was a policeman at 27 years old, I cleaned up a police department. The only mistake they made was hiring me. They wish they hadn't, but I cleaned them up. This is the application to form a political party. Okay. It's all marked off.
So people can get 20% off if they fill out this
application.
That's right. And then how do they get the application?
The application can be printed on the website.
No. Is there a website or something where they can go and
Canadian Anti-Corruption League, all one word, .org.
Canadian Anti-Corruption
League.org. You can print the copy off. Maybe you'll put my address on. I can send it. The only thing
put all the information for you.
Yeah. The only thing is mandatory. When you sign it, that copy, the original signature must come back, or Elections Canada won't accept it.
Well, all those instructions, I'm presuming, are on the website.
Yep.
So, and then where do people get information or can order the Ozone machines?
Again, you're going to put that information on the, can you? I don't
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's the website?
know. Oh, the website is 030miracle.net and ozoneman.net.
OzoneMan.net.
Man.net.
That one's easy to remember.
Ozoneman.net.
Yeah.
Go order your machine. I'm getting one.
That's right.
Well, actually, we're using one right now.
Yep.
So, Royce,
Yep. So that's how simple it is. Oh, one other quick thing is,
We're gonna have to bring Royce back.
yeah, I'm gonna. Anyways, if you fill up your, this is what my version of a neti pot. It's much better because if you blocked it all, you can squeeze it and force your whatever you got in here into your NAS. I use 0.5% hydrogen peroxide. I use sea salt. I use chlorine dioxide. I use baking soda.
we're going to have to give those recipes out.
Yeah, well, they're. Anyways, all you do is, the tip is soft silicone for sanity. So, I mean, if it gets some nose snot on it, you just wipe it off. There's nothing to it. You can, and if you're using hydrogen peroxide, that sterilizes it. We just put it in and
Okay.
and nothing to it. So,
Okay.
All
So,
right,
Royce, they're going to have to get in touch with you to get all these details.
yes, you are.
It's just another benefit of the Ozone. So,
But I thank you, Royce Hammer,
You're welcome.
the Ozone Man, for coming in today. With this segment,
We're
for giving
gonna-
us so much information.
and we'll just go to
We'll
Ozone.
be back. So
It's
you're.
ozoneman.net, right?
Yep.
Yes, and we're gonna be right back.
Yeah,
With,
we got
Talk it out.
Yep, we got Chill and
I can.
Celebrity chef
Tawana.
Divine Tawana.
So we're gonna play these commercials, and we will be right back.
You are watching CaribVision.
How I heard.